diagnostics. In today's live stream, we're going to be trying to fix a lifelike GP38-2 with an Australian national paint scheme. This was a locomotive which was gifted to me a couple of years ago from a subscriber by the name of Ryan Miller. And anyway, this locomotive does not run. I believe the powertrain has been completely robbed out of it. This is actually the second live stream trying to fix it, so I'm just re-explaining this whole scene right here. The previous live stream had some microphone issues. So anyway, we're going to take it over to the track, and I'll just show you what it's doing right now. Anybody who's already seen the live stream knows that it doesn't run, but I just want to show you all that even the headlights and everything else are not picking up any power. It's not shorted. There's just nothing going on. So we're going to try to fix it here. And in the previous live stream, I got one of the contacts out. So we're going to try to kind of proceed with that. We'll see if we can get the other one out. Basically, somebody soldered onto the screws right here, so this other one was kind of giving me some trouble. So we're going to try to get this one out right here. I'm suspecting it's stuck as well. Oh no, we actually are able to wiggle that one loose, so that's good. So we're just going to try to kind of pull this out right here and disconnect the rest of this whole drive, and then I already have a replacement drive which hopefully works, and we're going to get that in there somehow. The mic is fixed. I hope it stays that way. I reset my iPhone and I double checked that the app was up to date. Not much else I can do other than that, unfortunately. What's the worst lifelike engine you ever fixed? I think it was a Conrail F unit, and it turned out that the whole drive was warped on it, and then on top of that, one of the contacts had a bit of oxidization. It's very faint, so it was really hard to see. And the engine would momentarily run, and then it would just quit running for good again. And so I had to fight with that engine a lot. I did end up getting it going again, but that's one of the worst lifelikes I think I've ever encountered. Now, in terms of this one right here, I've got to drive. I'm going to get a power pack so we can actually test this unit and make sure that we're not throwing junk into a junk engine. Thanks for telling me where to get New Haven stuff. I just bought a New Haven Locomotive today. That's great to hear. Somebody else was also saying too, they actually took a clip from the live stream and posted it on their channel because they were asking how to get one of their engines going. And I gave some very basic tips on how to fix their engine. It was mostly just messing with the wires going to the motor, and it turned out to be the problem. So they posted a video of that today, which was kind of cool. Anyway, I'll just get my basic lifelike controller up here so we can actually try to check out the motor. I'm still going to open this and make sure everything's okay on the inside, but I just want to see if the armature is good. All right, deal or no deal? I think, oh yeah, okay. Those were just shorted. Okay, so this drive is good. That sounds really healthy. Just have a quick gander through it, but I'm pretty confident this is going to work okay. We are missing all 4 traction tires, so that's something to keep in mind. And a little bit of fresh oil probably would not hurt this thing. SMT, the last video you did with your grandmother's locomotive was really something special. I enjoyed her seeing it running. Yeah, it was great to get that one going. I might have already mentioned this in some previous live streams, but she turned 82 recently, and she just said, I want to run some trains for 3 hours because she's like, every time I go over there, you know, I just see the layout briefly and I feel like I don't get to see all the detail. So I decided, you know, why not surprise her and get another engine going again. So now the goal is going to be to get the Flying Scotsman going again, but I'm glad I could at least get that done. These springs are looking great, so I'm pretty happy about that. The brushes are good too. Let's open this quickly here and check in on the commutator. Got a stripped out screw. Wonder if somebody's opened this before. Yeah, the one on this side is stripped out too. Sometimes if you apply a little bit of pressure near the screw, it will allow it to kind of grip and back out, but these ones are really bad. I wonder if it was like that from the factory or not. Oh, yeah, it's stripped out so bad, it's not even holding on to that. Alright, well, that's fine. We'll just pull out the main pinion gear and have a look. There's a tiny bit of dirt, but that's really not that bad. Let's take the fiberglass pencil and polish that up really quickly. Perfect. And back into place you go. Let's take some really light oil. This is Labelle 102 and just lubricate all the main points in here. What's your favorite locomotive to restore? I really like working on the old Atherns, honestly. I find those are pretty straightforward engines to work with. I'm sort of wondering if I should transfer everything from this gear case to this one, just because this one might not be stripped out. I mean, if we already have the whole engine apart, you know, why not? Unless, of course, this one's also bad. And the springs are also already in this one too, even though the motor is long gone, which is interesting. Those don't look that bad though. That's good. Old Atherns are cool. They're very reliable locomotives. Yeah, so this drive right here is missing both of its magnets. And the top of the casing actually does not look that great. It looks like somebody broke this at some point. You see how that stud is in there? I think I'm just going to go with the original. And that should be all right. However, okay, there might be something we can kind of do. This original casing is missing a little bit off the top, but we do have both the studs for that, so I don't know, maybe we could try to get those screws to back out. I don't know. If I apply some pressure on the back here, will those just pop out? Might be trickier than I thought. And we got a super chat from Oh the Indignity. SMT, a friend told me to clean my rails with rubbing alcohol, but my trains ran awful when I used it. I used a rubber, it got better, but not 100%. Any suggestions? Okay, so rubbing alcohol will remove grease and carbon deposits, but it also usually contains water, like even, 90% isopropyl has 10% water. So one thing it will not remove is oxidation. So if you have steel rails or brass track or even nickel silver, you might have some oxidization. So if you use the track rubber on that, keep going until it starts to actually feel smooth, because that's going to actually remove the oxidization as well as the oil and carbon deposits. But if you're still having problems after that, I would also check the wheels of your locomotive, and I'd also just check the joiners and make sure those are all doing their job. So So we're gonna have to see if we can kind of get these screws to back out. And this is gonna be interesting. Got this screwdriver right here, and I'm kind of wondering if we just kind of hold that there, if I can kind of hold on to the bit that's slipping and get that to back out. Kind of a janky setup, but it might work. Oh, yeah. Haha, there we go. There's one. Let's see if we can get the other out. And try sort of applying an upward force here. See, this one's being stubborn too, but at the same time, the head of the screw is already kind of out, so I'm kind of wondering if I just sort of keep a nail under there, if I can kind of get that one to back out as well. This is going to look awful right here, but I think this is going to work. Yeah, okay, and now if we just give this a little tap, tap, tap. I wonder if these are not the same. This is getting confusing. I'm actually going to the August Sparky YouTube meet and greet. We're both going to be there. DC forever. How often do you find proto locomotives that don't run or have cracked gears? I'm looking into getting them and I want your input. It's a pretty common problem on the older ones. But Walthers does sell replacement wheels. So it's not really a big deal. Like, I'd be surprised if you got one that you couldn't get running again without too much effort. It's really just those wheels. The motors and everything else are pretty solid in them. Gotta get these pieces of plastic out of here. I need to get something that can kind of get in there and then just sort of force that out. Have you heard about a scenic line coming back to life soon? The Gettysburg is getting one back in service. That's good. I have a Union Pacific that sounds like a dirt bike. Yeah, it's probably got cracked gears. Oh! It's beautiful. This works really well. So just get yourself a piece of handrail. The question I have now, though, is this actually the same part? Because to me that looks a little bit different. So it's possible these don't even work together. And as a matter of fact, they don't. So I guess Lifelike did slightly change these over the years. But now that we've got these bits of plastic out, I don't know if we could really reattach them, but maybe we could do something. Who knows? TMI. What's TMI saying that brake clean's bad for you? Yeah, I think this thing will be fine without them. Although, the top ones are gone too. Oh, man. Okay. It's time to re-strategize a little bit here. I wonder if we can just transfer this into this case right here, because unlike the case that I've got, this one might be okay. So I'm going to try to pull up that thrust washer right there. And we'll place that there. I hope these are similar enough. I'd give this a solid 3 maybes out of 10. Yeah, this is way different. Look at that. You got plastic studs right there. This is a Bachmann part. This is just like chasing good money after bad. I wonder what the likelihood of this working would be. Might be our best shot. All those parts look so similar, but none of them work together. Yeah, exactly. So close, but no cigar. Already managed to kind of liberate one of the magnets. Can we get this other one out? Yeah, that looks okay. So now I'll just throw all of our current gears from the other drive. And this one, I've just got to remove a few pieces of hair from this so that we don't mess it up. Get all this junk out of there. Every time I do a repair, I always think, oh, this one's going to be an easy one. We're gonna have things straightforward, and then surprises always occur. That's all part of the game. Do you use hot glue in any HO scale restoration? Only in a pinch. There's a bit of a meme on the channel that it's a universal motor mount. So I think I got some bad news for yet another casing. It seems like the stud right here is broken. I'm kind of wondering if I can Dremel that out and then actually replace it with one of these metal ones, which frankly would probably be more reliable. The only thing is that trying to get that perfectly straight, it's going to be hard. I don't even know if I have a Dremel that's the right size. Not wrong. I think I'm up a particular creek without a paddle right now. That might work. To get my HO scale train to work, I think I need new rails because they're completely destroyed. I wasn't careful with the track, and Bachmann rails aren't the best. Yeah. All right, we're going to try to will this all into place. Have you ever thought of finding a model of Union Pacific number 9000? Can't say I have, to be honest. JD's Trains and Things, you're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you. SMT, you should respond to more people. I'm trying. I'm just also trying to figure out how to get this thing going. What is that? The Dremel tool? He's trying his best. I am. See what we can do here. I don't know. This one is proven complicated. Not the pin drill. Yeah, I probably still need to bring that in a little bit further. Keep up the good work. I love the videos. Do you fix engines and stuff I have it doesn't work right? Well, this is all part of the process. Most times fixing an engine is not a very quick thing, and in a lot of the repair videos I do, it's a much faster process because when I run into a problem, I can say, okay, stopped, and then be like, okay, so this is what I did, you know? But when I'm doing these live repairs, this is one-to-one. This is discovering problems and then trying to figure out solutions for them. But if you ever do this bit yourself, you'll probably encounter the same stuff. What oil do you use on your locomotives? Mostly Labelle 102 and 106 grease. See if I can find something to try to pull out the stud right here. That's pretty easy. Let's just check for fit if I can. Yeah, that does not look right. Might need a slightly wider drill bit. What are those cutters called? I think they're Xeron cutters. They're made in Saco, Maine. Very good stuff. What's the company that made this thing? It's a Lifelike. This doesn't fit into place this time. What I could do is just heat it up, see if we can get... Oh, no! I think it's working. Yeah, there we go. I like that. See if that all works together. Hi Harrison, I just wanted to check in and say I always find your restoration and bench videos so calming and soothing. You're the Bob Ross of model trains. Well, I really appreciate hearing that. That's very kind. I wonder if this one will work. Well, that one seems to be fine. I'm going to see if I can find that blue gear, because I'm pretty sure I dropped it on the ground. But if I can't find it, I think that this one will get along with the others. Check down on the ground here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that. We're already mixing a lot of different parts together, so that's fine. I will, however, throw a little bit of oil in all these different parts just to make sure everything is going to groove nicely together. Today I was watching a pal struggle to fix a tea kettle. He got stressed until he presented replacement axles I had found in my own parts box. That's a good story. I do wonder how I lost like the largest gear, but I don't know. No, that looks right. Oh, it looks like we got a super chat. Holy crap. It's Dawn57. Hey, SMT, I've been watching your channel for a few years, and you helped me get back into the hobby of model railroading. Thank you so much. Don't spend it all in one place. Well, thank you so much. That is incredibly generous. Very generous. Thank you. Maybe I'll spend it on a new case for my my lifelike engine here. You need to get a 3D printer to produce classic parts. I do have a 3D printer. I don't know if I have the right kind of resin for this stuff. This is being a little challenging here. Yeah, there we go. C'est fantastique. So that all seems to be turning nicely now, and we got that together. I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of a way to get this plastic into there, though, just because if I don't, the contacts are going to have nothing to thread into, so this is still kind of a mission-critical component. I just wanted to see if we could actually get this together with the gears turning, because adding that new metal stud is obviously not a factory option, so, you know, make it up as you go along. Sometimes it works. Have you ever thought about making your own locomotives? You seem to fix engines very well, and you have your own spare parts. It's possible. I did make a prototype for a homemade locomotive years ago, but I never ended up doing anything with it. I'm worried I'm going to pry this apart and send the gears flying everywhere. It does look like it may be missing traction. It definitely is missing traction tires. Okay, the problem right here is that this one part is trying to go in at kind of a wampus angle, which is not good. And it's preventing this from lining up. One thing leads to another, doesn't it? Let's just cut that off. We don't need it. That's it, MacGyver it, yeah. That's the way to do it. So I think now we'll figure out if we can get one set of axles in here. And it's Don. Thank you so much for joining the Well Folks Club. I do appreciate it. I think we have a couple sets of wheels that actually have traction tires, so maybe I'll throw those in there. Little pieces of fur driving me crazy here. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. I'll just find a variety of different screws to try to clamp this whole thing together. Lifelike tea kettles were horrible. They're cute engines, but yeah, in terms of reliability, those were not well-made engines. You should go to Richmond Point because there's a model railroad there. And all this still seems to be turning really well, so that's good. We are short one traction tire. I'm gonna see if I can find some dental bands to try to fix that up. Or another lifelike tire, whichever we can find first. Red Gray 99, thank you for joining the Well Folks Club. Anyone else casually scrolling eBay while watching the channel? And California Mainline is putting a whole bunch of the Nerf Cat emojis. Okay, I found those. You should make Friday nights N-scale night. El Gato Nerf. Tell them what they get as a member of the Well Folks Club. You get access to a bunch of custom emojis on the channel with different locomotives and pictures of Nerf Cat and stuff. You get exclusive access to some members' videos, and then you also get early access to some videos. Looks pretty good there. give those all some oil. And then I think it was this truck cover has a coupler pocket on it. The other one does not. I think it's broken off, so I think I'm going to roll with that. Although it might not work with this locomotive because it's already got this whole assembly right here. I don't know. What I do want to figure out, though, is if we can actually kind of thread some of the covers for that. Throw, I think I'll throw this spring in. Now this one right here shouldn't have any problems because it's actually got a piece of plastic behind it. The other one is going to be the more questionable one. So that one's fine. It's more about the other guy there. Let's get some of these extra parts out of our way. SMT had a live stream in November 2022 trying to fix the worst locomotive ever made. The lifelike tea kettle says it all. Yeah, I had up until that point not seen a working lifelike tea kettle, so they're definitely not a very common kind of locomotive. This one right here is going to be the interesting one. The black tricks are the original for that locomotive. Yeah. So that right there is kind of what I thought might happen with this thing. Where it's not really threading into anything right there. So I'm kind of wondering what I should try to do right here. Could try to put some plastic in there and try to get it to thread into that. I could tap the hole, make it a little bit wider, try to thread something into that. There are options, I'm just not sure which is best. Universal motor mount the chassis. Just add some super glue to the screw. Yeah, it might work. Just need to watch it doesn't flood into the rest of the drive. I could inject some hot glue in there. I'm not sure if that would work. Add super glue, it is wild. Let's see if I can get some into there. Let's do the old 5-minute crafts on this. This probably will work. A little bit of baking soda on there too. What does everybody think? Is it going to work this time? $50-50, yeah, that's fair. I think right now it's actually kind of sealed it up a little bit too well, preventing that from accessing there. So we'll get that Dremel back out again, and we'll just kind of drill a little bit of a hole. And hopefully this is smaller than that screw right there. Yeah, I don't think there's quite enough material there, unfortunately. So that is no good. What is he doing? That's a good chance. That's a good question. I'm trying to see if we can tap something in there. Would it be crazy to try to get a bigger drill bit, Dremel this out, and then try to like actually insert a piece of plastic into there? That could be a bad idea, but I think I'm going to go with that. The struggle is real. Yeah, no doubt. You can melt the plastic. Yeah, that's one option. I'm thinking that we drill this out, try to add some new plastic in here. We'll just reel it. We'll just kind of like re-sleeve this. You're a great problem solver. Well, we'll see by the end of this. Dremel that out a little bit more and see if we can get that to fit in there. JB weld, that might do it. Might just do it. This thing's gonna get back together whether it likes it or not. Just gonna get some pliers, that way we can really get that in there. Tap it in. Darth Santa Fe, don't worry guys, we've got an expert in here to help out, and he's saying that we should try to hammer the stubborn parts in. Well, I'm willing to give that a shake. Let me see. can't find my hammer, so I'm just going to up the ante with the pliers. This is either going to end really bad or really good. Really good. These belong to my great-grandfather. Still serving the family after 70 years. I'm no expert. I have no idea what to do. Take a small center punch. This thing deserves a good 1-2 punch. And now all we need to do is just kind of get a self-tapping screw to thread into the new plastic, which we've sleeved into place. And if this works, things are going to be grand. Oh dear. Yeah, that is right. Don't make the spring go flying like the T1 incident. Well, I'll throw it back in the parts dish, but luckily we got some backups. Now, this is already threaded, but I just want to kind of get the top of the hole started just so the screw can kind of start to grip. And then I think once it gets in there, it's going to be okay. Let's not forget the spring, of course. Don't forget the brushes are already in there, but yeah, I don't want to forget that spring. Get some Loctite. That's a good idea. Bad news. Doesn't run. So the question is, what did I mess up? Is it just jammed in place now? And threading that in make everything kind of fall out of place. Uh-oh. Oh dear. I'm kind of thinking that maybe while I was drilling this out, some of the shavings might have fallen into the motor and jammed everything up. So now we've got to take all this back apart again. But, you know, what could possibly go wrong there? The locomotive is done for. I'd give that a 50-50. I don't know. Sometimes you wind yourself a little too far. This might be one of those cases. Well, the other brush doesn't want to come out, so I'm just gonna leave it in there. Yeah, I'm thinking that like a loose piece of plastic has probably just jammed the armature, because I can feel it moving a little bit. It just doesn't want to fully rotate, and it was before. I just can't imagine that pressing a piece of plastic in there was enough to completely, you know, mess that up. So we just need to take this apart, remove the shrapnel, and then we're gonna have a wonderful unit. That is not what I was hoping to see. I was kind of hoping we were actually going to find something like jammed up in there. It's turning fine. Did I just over tighten these screws? Is that what's going on here? Just to let you know, a good thing, it's not a Shea locomotive made by Bachmann Spectrum. Yeah, for sure. This is definitely not the scariest locomotive to be working on. This one is just, it's had a rough go, and I'm taking parts which probably belong in a dumpster and trying to make it work with that, so it's not a great combination. Yeah, you definitely over tighten them. It's possible. Also, I'm pretty sure these parts right here might also have some hair stuck around them. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's all turning beautifully. Maybe it was the brushes. Have the same Phillips screwdrivers you're using. Well, these are very generic. I mean, you can buy these at like a general store. A lot of people have suggested that I upgrade them, and I get the idea. You know, you can definitely buy better screwdrivers, but it's just for anybody who's trying to follow my videos on how to actually like repair their locomotives. They probably have these in their bins, so I just don't want to go buying too many fancy tools and then kind of make it so that somebody who's actually trying to kind of, you know, use these videos to fix something they're working on feels like they can't because I've got a million things at my disposal. This entire screwdriver set cost me $3 at Dollarama, so really can't compete with that. Try some WD-40, that always fixes the problem. Don't ever say that in a model railroading form. WD-40 is, if you have a stuck bolt, you're trying to get something unstuck, it will help, but it's not a very good lubricant in my opinion. Okay, better than before, but not by much. WD-40 is water displacement number 40. It's cleaning oil. Yeah, exactly. It will go through stuff, but I wouldn't even lubricate a door hinge with WD-40. Like, it's so thin that it does not lubricate a whole heck of a lot. So we seem to be right back to kind of square one with things not turning very well, so I want to figure out what's going on there. I'm kind of getting suspicious it might have something to do with the brushes because it didn't have that problem as we saw earlier. So we're going to let those loosen up a little. Pull these out again, and we'll see if we can kind of SMT, have you ever given up on a repair before? I have. We'll see if this is one. We got a runner. Serenity. All right, let's torque down the brushes a little more and see if it will continue doing that. Oh, yeah. Now, is it going to party in both directions? Oh, for sure it will. Do I trust it? No. Does it work? Yes. So, I think right now we're just going to kind of pack all this stuff away. We'll get this into the locomotive, throw some screws in the drive, and just really hope it all works together. I'm also noticing that these back wheels are also not rotating all that well, so I might have to do some adjustments on the contacts there, but we've gotten forwards a little bit. Does this not fit on there? This could be a different generation. Oh, no, it actually does work. Cool. Thank you for the super chat, California Mainline. I'm just going to quickly open this up. Yeah, those do look quite dirty. What scale of train would you recommend for a small apartment? Probably N scale. Clean those pizza cutters. Yeah, no doubt they definitely need it. The crown means royalty. YouTube is... Okay, I don't think that was a comment for me. I wonder if I have a track brake laying around. Here's the secret to getting your old lifelike engines running really well. You see how oxidized those are? Let's do a little bit of a rotation, and in like a minute, we're gonna have some very well polished up wheels. The red wire broke off. Yeah, it's not really a problem because that was not the original wire for this locomotive. Maybe it was, I don't know. Either way, that needs to be replaced. A lot of lifelike content the last few days. Yeah, for sure. Did you do anything for Canada Day? I didn't do anything on the channel, but outside of YouTube, I took the boat out with a bunch of friends, which was pretty fun. Too bad they don't sell lifelike HO replacement parts. That would be wonderful. I wonder how long it's been since this thing rode the rails. So I think I got this locomotive in 2023, I'm pretty sure it was. But the original owner of this engine, apparently this was their first locomotive and it hadn't run in a while, so who knows. Thank you for the super chat, 123 Mahler. SMT, I was a subscriber that just sent you that model from Australia. Great to catch you working on it. No way, we've got the original owner in the chat right now. That's crazy. If you want to share any of the history of this locomotive, because I'm just trying to remember back to that letter that you sent when you shipped this thing in, please feel free to share it. I'd be curious to know kind of the story behind it. That's pretty cool. What are the chances? These are always fun to get back on, yeah. Contacts are just jumping out of place. Yeah, those are actually rolling properly now. That's nice to see. Probably should have thrown some oil in there while I had this out, but I'm just going to throw a little drop right there. And that should help all of that turn a little bit better. So now I think we'll focus on actually trying to get this drive in the locomotive and soldering all of this stuff back together. These wires are really not looking amazing. I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best way to actually do this. So we got that in place. Is 250 a good deal for a lot of trains with at least 30 locomotives, 20 cars, and some buildings? If it's all in good shape, it might be. It really depends, though. Like 30 junky Tyco locomotives, I mean, those are only worth maybe like $5, $10 a piece. But if you're talking about 30 Athearn locomotives, that's a pretty good deal. And originally, this would have been kind of wired like this. Like you'd have two wires going from the light, and then you got your red and your blue wire. I mean, if we wanted to wire this thing backwards, we could just connect these two wires together. And honestly, I don't even know if I got the contacts in the right position. So yeah, I think we'll just kind of take a contrarian position and just sort of wire this thing differently. Because if I put these backwards, this would already be backwards, if that makes sense. I don't know which way it goes, so let's do that. Keep it simple. What's that expression? KISS, keep it super simple. When do you think you'll get this done? Because I want to commit to you, but you're keeping me awake. I don't know. I'm not making any promises, honestly. Hopefully soon, but I honestly thought this was going to be a little bit more of a straightforward repair, and, well, a lot has happened. I'll be honest, I've kind of gone a little bit further into this one than I was hoping to, but that's all right. BFI, brute force ignorance. Brute force, in some cases, can help you fix stuff. Like, there's sometimes you're trying to take something apart and it's just not coming apart. Sometimes you just need to be a bit rough with it, but my rule is always to use brute force to disassemble something as a last resort, because I find 9 times out of 10, if something's not coming apart, there's another screw or another clip or something that's holding it up. And if you don't take your time and undo it, then you'll end up breaking something, which might be important. So let's get these guys all together. How's the search for a house? It's ongoing, but every day I'm always looking. Now it's come apart with the flux actually on the wires. The last two digits are the manufacturer's year. I'll see if we can have a look on this one. So now we just need to run that down there, and then I'll just put like a little gap in the wire here. That way we can actually you know, try to hook up this light. This is not how it would have come from the factory, but we will minimize the amount of stuff we need to solder on there, which I think will be a good thing. Just gonna hit the reset button on that. These engines are being more problematic than the Deltics. Yeah, no doubt. Flux attracts the solder where you want it. That's true. I'm going to pre-tin this wire with solder just so that we don't have to be applying heat to that for too long. How's Nerf Cat? He's doing well. See if I can find some self-tapping screws for that, and then we'll take it to the track. So, by the way, for anybody who's curious, if you go on Amazon and just search small self-tapping screws, you can find these generic lots, and they're not terribly high quality screws, but like I think this box right here cost me like $10, and these things come in so handy for working on these types of junky engines. Sometimes the screws in these packs look so similar to the originals I can't honestly tell them apart. Threads in there like it's factory. Alrighty, well, moment of truth. Well, we got a runner, or have I put together a bunch of junk? Come on. I mean, it's moving. What are the amps at? A little bit high. Let's give it a chance here. Drop of oil. It has oil. I just think that maybe some of these parts are not working very well together. I also didn't clean the sides of the wheels, which is where the wipers actually make contact, so that's weird. Give it the Acela treatment. Yeah, exactly. Give it all the amps. I'm not sure what's going on over there. Just derailed. Say on the rails, I don't think it's a traction issue. I just think that either something in the gearbox is not jiving, or it just needs to kind of break in a little bit. I mean, I mixed a whole bunch of different parts off of various locomotives, so it shouldn't really be too surprising that, you know, maybe they don't want to work very well together right off the bat. It's weird that it's picking that switch, though. One option is just to try to run it in the other direction. It needs a good 30-minute run-in. Yeah, entirely possible. I also didn't check to see if the wheels were engaged, so that's another thing that could be going on here. I picked another switch. What the heck is going on here? That wasn't supposed to happen. I think that maybe it's being held up by that. Seems good. Train problems, yeah. Oh, that's not good, Scooby. You the man that fixed your grandma's train? Yeah. The wheels could be unaligned. Yeah, that's possible too. Just manually move that a few times, see if that gets it jiving. At least it's running. Maybe it needs a tuna fish sandwich. Well, it's from Australia. It probably needs a Vegemite sandwich. I don't know. Are we cooking it? It's like it's close, but it's just not pulling through it. Put a jet engine on it. It's just so weak. Have you tried plugging it, unplugging it, and plugging it back in? Definitely try adding a little bit more oil to the gearbox, but there's no guarantee that that is what it needs. It doesn't smell like anything is burning, which is a good sign, but the motor is old. Yeah, I don't know. It could just be a tired power plant. I don't know anything about this motor. And when you're old parts, they all kind of break in. And so if you go kind of mixing different gears and stuff, you know, they will work together. It's just that when everything is kind of worn in a certain way, it's not going to work as well when you mix it with other parts, which might be broken in slightly differently. Get some of that junk out of there. And should we just give this like the total treatment? Just soak everything in oil. It's not at all what you're supposed to do, but so let's see if kind of letting that circulate through there gets this thing going. I find it really weird how it seems to be going faster through this corner, and then on the straightaways, it's slowing down. Like, theoretically, it should be faster on the straights because there's less strain on the components. So this thing kind of contradicts what it should be doing. Maybe there's too much weight. Well, I didn't modify the weight. I'll try in reverse. Yeah, something's not quite right there. I wonder if I found that original blue gear and threw that in there, if that would fix this. Because who knows if adding that white gear in there was actually a good idea. Seems like a power pickup issue. It's definitely part of it, but there are times when the light is shining bright and the motor should be revving really high. Could be that the magnets are bad. Yeah, that's possible too. At least, I mean, this is warm, but at least it's not like too hot. Use the magnetizer. Let's see what we can do here. Maybe it's the springs. The springs look okay, though. Like, usually when these things draw too many amps, the springs kind of, like, squish down. And those ones look okay, so I don't think that that's the source of the problem. My money is on the gearbox. I feel like something is not quite jiving there. How many horsepower does it have? I don't know, 0.006. I did find the original gear. Maybe maybe it would like that. It feels and looks like everything is turning well there. So that's all good. We got our thrust washer on that side. That's important. I've worked on quite a few of these, and like that's pretty typical right there. The only thing that really does kind of make me question this is, like, you see how, like, these parts are not naturally fitting together? Could be that the whole drive is warped. How's the magnetic strength? I don't know. I've never had that problem with a lifelike engine, but I could try to throw it in the remagnetizer, see if that helps her out. I haven't used the remagnetizer on these types of magnets before, but I'll see what I can do here. So I guess you're supposed to load it up. If this is the north side right here, I guess you're supposed to load it up like that. Does this look right to all of you? Could be something with the wheels. Yeah, maybe. So there's the south side, so it should be opposite to the other magnet, which makes sense. The thrust washer's out of place. I wonder if that came out when I was removing the armature, or if it somehow fell out while I was installing it the first time, because that would definitely cause some issues. It's good the washer was in place before. Okay. I grab a toothpick and just double check the gaps on the commutator as well. Just make sure there's nothing in there. These looked pretty clean, but it's never gonna hurt just to make sure. Put these screws back in, but I'm really going to torque them quite lightly, just so that I'm not putting too much stress on everything inside, and it's going to allow there to be a little bit more play than there was before, and that might also help this thing kind of loosen up. I was just going to get rid of whatever gunk is left on this. I don't think that this is the core of the problem, but yeah, try to kind of solve every issue here. Probably the reason I would... What is the story behind Darth Santa Fe? I've always wondered what that, where the name comes from. The wild thing with Darth Santa Fe is I was watching your channel back in like 2011. I remember watching that video comparing a lifelike, a Bachmann, and I think a Kato locomotive. Let's see here. Ah, look at that. Okay. It's ASMR. Seabur563, thank you so much for joining the Well Folks Club. I lost a spring. Trying to get these in here when you're when you got the drive installed is a little bit tricky. There we go. I really hope it works. It's got tires so it can pull. They don't last very long. It depends. I've had some last quite a while. The very first locomotive I ever got was a Lifelike. It's still got its original traction tires, and I was not easy on that engine, I tell you what. So trying to get this all in place is a little bit tricky. A friggin' magnet. If I maybe got these screws mixed up. No, nothing wants to thread in there. Wow. Keeping a fourth neodymium cube around your screwdriver situations like this can stick to the magnet shank. It'll be easier for you to hold the screw. That's a good idea. I'm just gonna grab this thing on both sides here for a moment. This is one part of doing these repairs live, is like when things go really wrong, you don't get the pleasure of swearing about it. That's one key difference here. See, while I was threading in that one screw, this all managed to back out, and then while I was trying to get it back in there, now it's all fallen back out. Okay, there's half. Still have 379. Yeah, well, I think we got the anticipation with this one. Been here too long to back out. Same here. Where are your tweezers? I don't know. I think I'm gonna open this up again. I know it seems kind of redundant, but at the same time too, I'm suspicious part of the reason that this was having problems is because there's oxidization on the sides of the wheels. Because we cleaned the contacts, those are fine. It's just this part that I think might be giving us problems. And now that I'm looking at this, you see how there's like one part that's really shiny and one part that's kind of dull? Now, this might have been sitting like this for a long time, and that could be a cause of issues. I'm just gonna brake clean the end of this. That's more like it. I need to get one of those pencils. It's a good tool to have. Scrape off all that junk. And this one luckily doesn't look as bad. Here goes nothing. Almost seems kind of like it's weaker. It's weird, like for a moment it sounds like it's gonna like power through and then it just starts to bog down again. Man. Well, it was worth a shot. Time to put an expensive Cato chassis under that lifelike M might be. It's all like turning with very little effort, so I don't think that that's the problem. The only thing I can figure is maybe it's got a bad armature, because we went through the magnets, we went through the gearbox, everything is turning correctly, but it just will not power through it. So I really don't know what the story with that is. Maybe I could try backing these screws off a couple turns, but I really don't think that that is going to make a heck of a lot of difference. I think I might need to call it a night on this one. Let's grab another one just to compare it. Yeah, so there is a little bit more friction in the drivetrain, so maybe that warped kind of frame on the top there is interfering with this thing. I don't know. I had the same problem with the Tyco a while back. I couldn't get it working. I didn't charge the owner for the attempt to fix it. Well, that was nice of you. Could you power the motor directly? Well, it revs fine on the bench. It's just under load it seems to bog down. We could try it one more time here, but I'm thinking that this might have a warped cover. Like the casing is actually bad, and that's causing things not to work right. Because, you know, that doesn't sound that bad. But yeah, under load. Yeah, like that's really weird. I don't know. Well, anyways, I think I'm going to call it a night because we're way... Did you ask it to run properly? I didn't, but we can. SMT never fails. Well, it's not going to be the end of this because I really think that it's this cover right here. So if we find another unit to actually put it in, I think that that might be the key to our success here. I probably should have just left it in the original casing, but at the same time, too, with it missing all those parts, I really don't know. I low-key think Zinc Pest was a bug that targeted zinc. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of, like, what else could possibly be wrong. One last attempt. I guess so. But I really think that it's probably the casing. I'm trying to think if we have enough casing to actually get this thing back together some other way. Like if I use the original casing, if we just threw it back in there without those two studs. But then we're missing those top studs. We're kind of circling back to the same issues as before. And I think this is a Bachmann part, so that's never going to work with that. So it's that one cover. I think that is the key to our misery here. Duct tape it together. Yeah, let's red green the heck out of this. Give it one more crank. Yeah. Almost 2 hours, yeah. No kidding. Throwing this in backwards right now. So this is our bad one. Oops. This is our bad one, but I really wonder if the magnets themselves are bad too. If I was going to reuse this casing, I would need to get some Bachmann parts. I'm not entirely sure if those would work together right out of the box. Okay, that part looks fine. The axle rolled off the table. It might not work with this model. Because right now we're mixing Kadar Bachmann parts with lifelike parts, which are very similar, but they're not the same brand, so they're not technically supposed to really work together. It might be similar enough. Yeah, so the axles are not the same size right there. So we definitely need to find some more Bachmann parts to actually get this thing going again. Oh, look, another casing. That's also broken. Broken. I want to say that I have another parts bin somewhere here. I think that's mostly shells. Tyco. That might be useful. That's actually the car for that locomotive. Just need to find a basic Bachmann Cater drive. Like, it's not even a rare part. Well, looky what we have here. I wonder if this works. Yeah, let's go try to see if that will do anything for us. Just gonna go grab my tripod, and I also need a charger here. This is kind of like a full video. Like when I do a video and there's a repair and I run into problems along the way and I say, okay, this is the solution. Like this is what goes on behind the scenes in terms of trying to problem solve. I found that today's storm made it into my basement, so much better to tend to that. thought this was a Bachmann drive, but I'm actually thinking it's a lifelike. So this should probably just pop right in there. Yeah. I'm not even going to open this one. It sounds like it's running right, so we're just going to cheat. Let's just throw this in here. I think it's going to work. Heart transplant, yeah. Yeah, that's not at all ideal. I think I'm going to try to clear the wire off this. Yeah, get all that crap out of there. Yeah, that looks way better. I'm going to try to repeat that on this side. That solder looks like crap. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to throw the screws back in this thing, not because I know that it works, but because I'm going to put those screws in, and if this thing runs, it runs, and if it doesn't run, I'm not undoing those screws again in this live stream. That's a deal I'm making right now. So either this thing is going to fly high or it's going to be bad. Now, this is a pretty strange looking truck, honestly. It's different from the one on the back, but let's just see if it works. What else can you hope for at this point? Whoa, getting ahead of ourselves here. Yeah. Well, what can I say? It's perfect. I really love that a motor I found in my junk bin seems to work a lot better than one I really tried hard to, make work right, but I'm not going to complain. The goal is to get this thing going again, and we've got a runner. So, yeah, I think we're going to call it a night there. Thank you all so much for hanging on. I know this is a bit of a more in-depth repair. Believe me, I didn't intend for it to go this far, but at the end of the day, we got what we wanted. So thank you all so much for sticking around, and I think we'll call it a night.